Hey guys, Craig here from RC Live. We've received something very cool and we wanted to share this experience with you. We've just received the brand new ATEM Television Studio HD8 ISO. We wanted to share the experience of unboxing this with you, so check this out. And there it is, the brand new ATEM Television Studio HD8 ISO. Man, we've been so excited to get this, and believe it or not, this is the first one that's coming to South Africa, and we had to get our hands on it so the UK guys can actually check it out with us. Now, as Blackmagic do with their television studios, they pack a real punch into a single unit. We've always loved the 4K, and it's gone out on almost every production. Churches love it. Even some of the broadcasters love to use it in the studios. They are really, really cool single units. I mean, having the fact that you've got the whole mix engine built into your control surface is a huge, huge win. Just looking at the front of this, I mean, the build quality is amazing. T-bar, as usual, very, very nice and slick, nice and smooth, all very familiar. We've got our 10 control buttons here for our previews and our programs, all our shifts and transition buttons. So you're all very familiar with this sort of stuff. Now, a very, very cool addition here is all your controls at the top that you'll see here. We're going to go into a lot more in depth with this sort of area here. That is really a big push for this HD8. So we'll go more into depth there. We've got our AUX controls here. As you know from more your ATEM Mini range or ATEM Mini Extremes, we've got all our on-air, off-air, our recording on here. Our familiarity again with some of the controls at the top. Really nice screen again. I have noticed they have adjusted their buttons a bit. The old ones were nice and soft, but these feel a lot more tactile. So before we get into a bit more detail with this whole new surface at the top, let's go through some of what happens in the back. So let's have a look at the back here. Dead giveaway, yes, is an 8-channel. Gave away in the name, HD8. We then come across, we've got our SDI inputs and outputs. Now, these are all converters as well. So you can plug in different inputs in terms of your different resolutions or your different frame rates, and it will be able to convert that picture so that the HD can see it. Program output, multiview output in SDI and HDMI. So all the guys that do have HDMI monitors still, you can still run your multiview over in HDMI. You've also got 2 AUX outputs here now. And those AUX outputs you can send anything. You can send your cameras, you can send your program, you can send whatever mixes you want to. So you can, in essence, get 3 outputs out of this desk itself. You also do then have your MADI built into here. So you got your MADI in and out. We've also got timecode in, timecode out. So the desk itself does generate timecode, but you can also then bring timecode in so that everything's running the same. Or if you have a device that does need timecode, send it through on that. You'll notice there's also the control out and the studio out. So you can send separate audio channels to a studio. So you got your fold back into the studio itself or into your control room. Really, really nice for stuff like if you've got a small studio that you are running, something like this. You do have control directly from this desk, not having to run through a separate audio console. You'll see as well, we've got our 2 USB-Cs, so we can use it as webcam output. We can record to SSD off of that. The one thing you'll also see is that there are 4 Ethernet ports in here. Now, the real one with this thing is what it can do over the network. So this is the ISO unit, which means it's going to record your program, but it's also going to record all your other camera inputs as well. So you'll have all different files for your cameras, all timecode correct, so you can drop them straight in your timeline afterwards. But a really cool thing above the fact that it's an ISO unit is that it's also got the cloud directly built in. Once everything's recorded, you can then upload it to the cloud. You can create proxies directly inside it. You can access it over the network. Everything just runs straight through the network ports at the back. A really, really nice piece of equipment that you can use as a studio setup, and you've got editors either in the same building that are accessing over the network or even remotely on the internet. They can pull it down from the cloud and start editing straight away. The fact that it builds its proxies itself is a huge win. So all your remote editors get on, start editing on those proxies straight away. They can also start syncing the original footage directly as well, so they can switch out the proxies. Just really cool that they thought about the fact that what happens after your mix, what happens after your production. And so really, really nice way to think about it. As well as thinking about what's happening after, what's happening during the production. Yes, you still got your live built in, so you got your on-air directly, so you can go straight on-air while you're busy doing your mix. So on the graphic side, the unit has 4 upstream keys, it's got 2 downstream keys, it's got 4 chroma keys, so that means you can actually do a total of 8 layers on one picture. So I did mention the fact that you can record straight to an SSD via the USB-C. Now, what you can also do, and I know this unit does have it because it is one of the first units, you can get a 2 terabyte NVMe drive built directly into the unit. No external recorders, no external drives, directly record right into the unit. That is an optional extra. So let's look at some of the real new features that Blackmagic have brought into this unit. Now, audio is a massive, massive part of the productions, and they've really thought about it in this unit. They've, as you've seen here, they've got a whole new section in their surface here that is dedicated to audio. If you go through it, I mean, you can control each camera's gain, its compression, its EQs, all directly on the unit itself. You can set it to follow video, you can solo. It just really is a nice unit for a single person to mix down the whole show. So along with all your audio controls, you'll notice there's a camera button there as well. Now that is your camera control directly on the unit itself. Hitting the camera, you're going to get all your controls there. Hitting it again, second layer of that. Super helpful having those tangible controls right there. The application for this unit is very, very wide. The fact that you can cut it straight into a desk, template inside the box, cut it in, drop it in, there's your permanent studio install. Churches as well in your control room, drop it in, super slick, no one's going to be bumping anything. As well as the fact that it is still nice and small to move around, it is still compact. So if you are running around doing gigs, putting into flight cases, it is easy enough to move around. Super solid build. I'd have no problem taking this in and out of gigs the whole time. So these units are available right away. So if you head over to rclive.co.za now and you go and look for this unit, you can order one now.